Hello. I'd like to share with you today one of our Christmas traditions that our grandmother Pope would give us each year for Christmas when we were small children. She would give us this little brown bag or a white bag full of goodies. And in this bag, she would give us some ribbon candy, and some other little hard candies. At one time, they may have been homemade sugar candies. We also got nuts, lots of nuts in our bag. And these were nuts, some of them, like the acorns and the hazelnuts, and we just didn't always have these. We did get a lot of pecans and walnuts when we were children, but it was really nice to have some other variety of nuts. In our sack, she would give us a fresh orange. We would get an apple, and she would have frozen pears that she kept in her freezer wrapped up in wax paper, but we would get a pear. There were times when we even got homemade popcorn balls, and these were always one of our favorites because it would have all of this delicious Karo syrup and popcorn, and we would have pecans or walnuts on it also. We also, later in the year, one other thing that we got in our sack was each child got a pair of socks. She made sure that we had a brand new pair of socks every Christmas. And this is just such a special memory for me. I know my sister may remember some of these things. I'm not sure if Ricky and Jerry did when they were that small, but Grandma Pope and Uncle Doc were on our father's side of the family, and they lived close by to the 10 acres that we had in Oklahoma. Later, after we moved from Oklahoma out here to California, my mother continued doing the tradition. We would get our nuts, and she would give us our hard candies and our ribbon candies, and these were always loose in the bag. She would give us the orange and an apple, but she included a banana because she loved bananas. One other thing that we had before we actually moved from Oklahoma, when my mother was making our little Christmas socks, is she would put in some chocolate drops. And believe me, these were really our favorites of everything that was in the sack. We loved the fruit, but definitely Sweet Tooth, we loved the chocolate drops. Later, when we were teenagers, my mother would always make sure that not only did we get our socks not only did we get our Christmas sack at Christmas time as teenagers, she had other favorite candies that she liked, and this is still one of my favorites. And these were these delicious cherry Queen Anne's, milk chocolate or the dark chocolate, but my mother did have these always handy. We had other little candies, and these were also my favorite. There is nothing more delicious than a little chocolate cherry inside with a little bit of cream. It was totally delicious. Anyway, this is one of my memories as a child and even as a teenager. I continued this tradition with my children and my grandchildren, and I would give them a sack, and I actually did put the fruit and the nuts and candies in it, and I actually would put in a pair of socks. So I had to buy socks for different sizes, from children all the way up to the adults. Would get socks. I think that it's a good tradition to have and everything. I have not done this since 2019. Things have changed quite a bit, but maybe I will start this tradition up again. It's a little sack. For us, this was such a special treat. This was a big gift for us, and we loved it. So lots of memories from home. It's not a recipe, but we do have a lot of recipes. That was my grandma Pope's. That was her sugar candy recipes, and those recipes were passed down. Or her mother, and her mother's name was El Dorado. My grandma was very special to us. Anyway, I just enjoy this, and I think I'll have a chocolate drop. Oh yes, it's definitely delicious and drippy. I guess I need to eat the whole thing. Happy holidays.